Hello and welcome to the Tavern Chat podcast. I am your host, Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR, your main proprietor at the Tenkar's Tavern blog. This is going to be a good test for this microphone to see if it picks up the noise leaking in through my closed window on this Saturday night because I have neighbors that are having a party, which is nothing special because for the summertime they had a party almost every fucking night. But I guess now they're back in college in classes, so now I guess we're limited to the weekends. It's a small blessing. I'll take what I can get, but yeah, they're really hopping right now. Just go bowl in the backyard. You know, I don't know. It's the cackling that gets to me. Don't it? I know. Too much information. You didn't need to know it. All right. So, quick updates. I got to get working on my wee little adventure, the demonic dungeon of the Bone Dreamer. I have it plotted out. I got to write stuff out. Not that I couldn't run it the way it is, but I want it to be not just something I can run at conventions, but something in the end that can get put up in full. Maybe pay what you want, maybe a buck or two. And get it out there, drive through. So, as it stands right now, the first iteration of it will be at ShireCon later on this month. Oh, wait, actually, it's 2 weeks from today. Holy shite. And then I believe I'm running it at Game Hall. Not 100% sure. I don't know what I'm actually running at Game Hall. I should know that shit. And I was right before I dropped in for this podcast, I was told I have to register my games for TotalCon. So yes, I'll be running this Friday and Saturday at TotalCon in February. So if you're in the Northeast, you've got at least 2 opportunities to play this. But, well, actually, no. ShireCon sold out. Well, maybe we could squeeze another chair at the table. We'll see what we can do. In any case, I digress, as is often, right? But you're used to that, right? You've seen me digress before. So, what am I talking about today? Well, the game we like to play is Dungeons and Dragons, right? We always talk about the dungeons, the adventures, but what about the dragons? Dragons are a pain in the ass. Listen, I tell a story. It was a great. I was running a Swords and Wizardry campaign using the complete rules, and my players came across a dragon. Mm-hmm. And the dragon nearly did a TPK. It nearly killed off the party. But in the end, it did enough damage to drive it off. And also because of the way the combat was going, the dragon didn't know the size of the group it was fighting and didn't necessarily know the casualties it had inflicted. So they drove the dragon off. It wasn't an old dragon. They got a little bit of a dragon horde. So how best to run dragons? Dragons are an intelligent adversary. You got to remember that part. Sure, they got a breath weapon, so it's like having artillery, and they've got huge hit points. It's like fighting a tank from World War II. But dragons, generally speaking, don't fight to the death. At least my dragons don't. I mean, they used to when I was a teen. Everything fought to the death. Nothing parlayed. Nothing lost morale and fled. But dragons, they plan on living for another day. And yes, maybe they'll have to flee their horde, but guess what? They'll come back for it. And they don't forget the faces of those they've fought, especially when they've been driven off. You know, dragons also are creatures that often have henchmen. Now you're saying, well, dragons are solitary, right? But dragons often have, in my mind, in my campaigns, connections, humanoids, people, creatures that provide them with information. Because if you're a dragon with a horde, it's hard to hide. It's hard to, be totally off the grid. You need information. You need to know if their local lord sent a reward for your death. You need to know. And of course, you will know. Not because they're telepathic or any shit like that. It's because they generally have individuals that provide them with sustenance. They don't always want to go out there hunting and being seen. They might be brought deer, bear, elf, dwarf, or whatever's on the menu, whatever's going to suit their fancy. And think about it. If you are an orc tribe and you have a dragon on your side, it's in that dragon's best interest to make sure that you thrive too. So maybe those interloping humans expanding on the frontier and building that town, well, maybe they're too large for your tribe to take down without incurring large damages, casualties. But the dragon that you have a relationship with and you explain what's going on, that dragon doesn't want those humans getting close either. Does the dragon necessarily have to burn the town down? No. He can set upon some outlying farm, make his presence known, burn that down, kill a few cattle, and maybe that stops the human advance, the settlements, or maybe it draws attention. I don't think I would play my dragon card as a DM and burn a town down. I think I would play it very small. But your campaign, you play it as you will. But remember, dragons are intelligent. Probably, game-wise, more intelligent than the player characters. They're conniving. And they're always working an angle. And will they parlay? Especially if the party seems to have a strong hand against them. Certainly they'll parlay. But that parlay might be a delaying tactic to get allies notified. Maybe they sent a runner out. Maybe somebody's going to be bringing that orc tribe over. Who knows? Now, are dragons usually solitary? Yeah. In my campaigns. I mean, you could have a campaign where you have a dragon colony. You could have a campaign where Mother and Father Dragon and their dragonlings, small dragons, hatchlings, whatever. It's all possible. Whatever works best for your campaign. But just remember that dragons are not meant to be piñatas. They're not there to whack a few times, kill, and snag their treasures. They are more plot device than anything else. And they shouldn't really be seen until your well, I shouldn't say be seen. They could be seen when your characters are first level, flying, on the horizon, or perhaps they come across a kill from the dragon, some wildlife torn to pieces and scorched, burned, signs of a dragon. Let them know. But if you can do that again, you can feed it early to your players, but it's something that should be built up over time before they would ever confront one. And like I said, dragons are dangerous to the PCs. The PCs should understand the value of parlay. And dragons understand it too. It's how best to instill fear than to have survivors talk about the encounter. If everybody dies in the encounter, if it's a TPK, there's nobody to tell the stories of what happened. And the death and destruction and the loss. Not the dragons. But other player characters. So just some ideas about dragons and how to use them. I always feel that they're like spice. Just little hints here or there adds so much. And then you slam your players at the end if you have to. And hey, always be if your campaign needs to wrap up on a high note or TPK, the dragon's the right way to go to get you one or the other. I can tell you that much. They'll never stop talking if they defeat the dragon, and they'll never stop talking about the TPK either. So hey, win-win. All right, folks. On that note, I'm going to bid thee adieu. As always, be safe, be well. God bless. Roll those dice. And I will talk with you all later. Laters.